Clay Per View. Watch Speedway live or on demand. And SRV Road Freight Services. Excellence in motion. Bring you Speedway Nation with Jared Ash and Ryan Harris. Right across the SEN network.
Welcome back to Speedway Nation. Thanks to Clay Per View. You can watch Speedway live or on demand. And another one of those events that I'm looking forward to this weekend. If you can't make it trackside at Hi-Tec Oils Toowoomba Speedway, you can check it out on Clay Per View. Ultimate Sprint Car Championship for Queensland Speedway Spares is back. It's the second half of the season. And I'm looking forward to Lockie McHugh just strutting his stuff, waltzing back into Toowoomba A1 on the wing panel. He has been on fire since the final night of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic.
Yeah, it'll be good to welcome him home. It's effectively his home track, and we've got a bit planned for him in the fan zone, and drivers will be able to get up and see the A1 car in the fan zone, and autograph session with him and the team, and get around him, get around his merch, and it'd be good to welcome him home. He's Australian champion. It'd be nice to see the car up close and personal. I love the new car. It looks really cool, actually.
Well, and something to touch on, Queensland hasn't had very many Australian sprint car champions, so really cool. Let's Queensland get out and support another Australian champion in your backyard. But Todd Wanless and Andrew Shirley, that's it. So Lockie McHugh is part of a very elite club there.
That's exactly right. He's the third Queenslander to win Australian Sprint Car Champion. Just think about that for a second. Phenomenal performance. Errol will be walking around, very, very proud to see his car rolling back into Toowoomba with the A1, and I'm sure he will continue the good run of form that he's had so far in the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship. He obviously won it last season, the series, and then this year he's currently leading. So, Lockie will be looking to grab his hands on the $5,000 winners prize that's on offer this Saturday night.
As you mentioned, $5,000 a win. It continues to draw good fields week in, week out. I know there's an abundance of sprint car racing around the country with good prize money, but solid fields every week at Toowoomba. Top 3 in points, probably locked in to come this weekend. Just quietly, it's we're a pretty solid field once again. Luke Oldfield back from his tripping over in WA, and the Sydney cars have been really, really strong supporters of racing. Obviously, up in Toowoomba while they're waiting for a race venue to open back up in New South Wales.
Yeah, they are. So Michael Stewart, he currently sits third. He's been phenomenal this season. The guy is class in a sprint car or a speed car. He's just great every time he gets in the car. He's been really good on the podium this season. So he's in the field. Nick Well has had a great season at Toowoomba. I know it's his home track, but he's sitting fourth in the series. Like, he's not that far out of touch, and he's just, breaking through for potentially a big podium, even maybe a win if the cards fall his way. So, Nick, he's currently sitting fourth in the series, but Jesse Allard's fifth. Well, he obviously won't be playing this weekend. Brent Kratzman, top points or quick time at Red Hot Summer Shootout for the Red Hot Summer Shootout.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable, and we know how fast he is when he needs to. He started pole in the dash. Ryan Newton, always impressive. Probably been a little, would be a lower grade for himself. He's just been unlucky this year, just been caught up in stuff that,
Correct.
Cars spin out in front of him, and he's just, there. So that's unfortunate for him, but he's seventh, so he'll be there. Cody O'Connell, James Kennedy, and Adam Butler round out your 10 at the moment in the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship, which continues to be very popular this season.
Now, one of the talking points heading into the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship this year, and I guess the racing season as a whole, was the format for sprint car racing at Toowoomba for the man that schedules these race meetings and the man that has to put together these supplementary regulations and all that sort of things. So are we pass marking? Are you happy with the format? I suppose explain for people that aren't quite familiar as much, Ryan?
Yeah, so traditionally Australian sprint car racing had 2 heats. There was a tyre shortage, and parts supplies and engine rebuild costs and all that stuff continues to escalate. Tyres are readily available at the minute, but that comes in peaks and troughs and waves as they run out and we go through the season. So, last season we made a conscious decision to make it go to 1 heat format. We reviewed that, and the general consensus of the lot of the teams they are happy with 1 heat format. The crowd are getting used to it. It's here to stay, whether people like it or not. It makes sense. Later starts, better shows, the 1 heat format with the dashes. I like it. I thought our Thunder on the Downs format was better than the USC format. So the USC format is a 6-car invert of the heat race. So the fast guys come off the third row, whereas Thunder on the Downs was heads up, fast guys off the front. I actually thought the heat racing at Thunder was better. You could probably argue that the quality of the field was stronger, so that's why the heat racing was better. I liked the opportunity in the mid-pack dash at Thunder that the winner transfers into the back of the Stars dash, whereas that doesn't happen with this. So anyway, there's a few things that we need to tune up, but I think I'm pretty close. But I do like the heads up.
Well, yeah, these are all little tiny things. So overall, the format seems to be working.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the people sitting on the hill that go, we need 2 heats. It just doesn't make the show any better. It really doesn't. It's more laps on the racetrack, more stuff to manage, an extra 40 minutes of sitting there. Sprint car qualifying isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
It is here to start. These are professional racing teams. We're not going to pull a number out of a hat and go, this is where you start in your heat race. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. These are professional racing teams, rightfully so. They can qualify for where they want to start. It doesn't change the show.
Yeah.
Seriously, look at the heat racing from the Thunder and the Downs. Look at the heat racing even from the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship. The same guys are ending up at the front in the heat races. If they're starting off the front side by side, they're having a great race with each other.
Yeah.
So if it's Lockie McHugh and Jamie Veal off the front row of a heat race, they're still going to throw slide jobs at each other in the heat race.
Yeah.
Lockie McHugh isn't racing super hard to pass the budget racer that's in his heat race. Even if you put him at the front of the field, Lockie will just blow by him. Let's be realistic. There's the haves and the have-nots, and the guys that are racing with good equipment, great crew chiefs, great skill. They're going to race each other hard. That's what we're here to see.
Yeah.
Are we realistically here to see Lockie McHugh have to pass 20 cars and maybe get taken out by someone in his 2 rounds of heats from the back? The format is still entertaining. The quick guys are racing the quick guys at the front of the field. Let's look at the 2 guys at the front row racing each other.
Yeah.
If they have a great race and a heat race side by side and they're throwing slide jobs at each other in a heat race and it's a great race with just 2 cars, is that any less impressive than those 2 guys having to start from the back and fight through some slower cars? I don't think it's any less impressive. I think it's more impressive because they're going heads up fighting each other. The 2 best guys are fighting each other in a heat race.
In clean air and doing what they're built to do, and that's race and win races, which is what we want to see. And, you know, there's no disrespect to the have-nots or the rest of the field because they
get to
crucially,
race.
and they're crucially important to all the shows, and that's why we've, you know, thanks to the support of Clapey View and everyone tuning in and watching those events, we've been able to increase the prize purses.
Yeah.
And the guys in the back half of the field have been getting paid more money.
Correct.
And that's great for everyone. So,
to be fair, Ryan, they're also racing each other and they don't have a quick guy trying to charge through the field and make up a million spots and trip over them and wreck their stuff. They're racing the same people week in, week out in their heat races that are the same skill level, same level of equipment as them, and they're getting better racing.
Yeah, and they're getting better themselves. So, I'm reasonably happy. My biggest problem this year is we've been over-programmed every night, which is, it's been phenomenal support that we've had with nominations in every field, and that happens again with our support program this week as well. But we'll adjust that. We'll fine-tune that next year with, you know, less support categories on the bigger nights, so to speak. But
well, you speak about that support program, GSA Advanced Machining Ultimate Speedcar Championship, $3,000 to win this weekend. Can't, honestly, tip of the hat to Brad Dawson and GSA Advanced Machining team. What they do for speedcar racing in Queensland is phenomenal. Yeah. And the fields we've been getting for speed cars is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's always a great field. We get some cars come out of Sydney as well and come up and be part of it. There's 3,000 to win, 2,000 for second, 1,000 for third. Great prize money. Brad and Tony's contribution with GSA Advanced Machining to Speedcar Racing, as you said, is phenomenal. How about what they've just announced? Daisy Smith is going to come out of Junior Formula 500s, jump into one of their cars, you know, potentially 3-car team for next season. Brad's on board for some very cool initiatives that we've got planned for Speedcar Racing at Toowoomba next season as well. But, you know, Troy Ware, he's the current GSA series leader at the moment. He's on 150 points. He's 4 points ahead of Scott Farmer, a GSA house driver and new Australian resident, which happened recently on the Australia Day long weekend. Dylan Menz, you know, he sits in third. Michael Kendall, you know, former New Zealand champion, obviously resides in the Gold Coast now. Boyd Chaffee, he's been impressive. Well, he's very good at the wheel of the Q43. And sits 5th in the series at the minute. Yeah, the speed cars have been impressive. Another impressive thing to look forward to this weekend, Formula 500's High Bank Shootout. Mr. Two-time, the current Australian champion, Dylan Beveridge from Tasmania, making the trip up to take on Mr. Four-time, Liam Williams, who calls Toowoomba his home track these days. That's effectively their last big run before the Australian title.
Yeah, so the Aero 64 Racing Products Australian Formula 500 title there, presenting with Forza Global the Highbank Shootout, third annual running of that event. Cool format for them this weekend too. Qualifying, one heat race, a dash, a shootout, and a feature race. So, we again condensed the program down a little bit, so it's a little bit more entertaining. We'll get through all the hot laps and qualifying, before sundown. Then we'll get into, proper race and dashes and shootouts through the main part of the program, finish with the main event. So, great form tester. Great field of Formula 500s leading into Easter for the national title. I'm actually sneakily looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really quite cool to see, potentially 50, 60 Formula 500s at Toowoomba at Easter time. But, yeah, great show this weekend.
Really looking forward to that. Of course, Southeast Open Championship as well, part of the National Super Sedan Series. That's at Esperance Speedway. Plenty of East Coast cars heading west to help bolster the field for WA Super Sedans. That's another episode of Speedway Nation, though. Thanks to Clay Per View. Hope to see you somewhere at a Speedway or tuning in on Clay Per View this weekend. We'll be back next week.
This is SEN Speedway Nation for Clay Per View. Watch Speedway live or on demand. And SRV Road Freight Services. Excellence in motion.